with Jill Savery, CEO of Bristlecone Strategies Incorporated. That is a consulting firm on sustainability. So, Jill, why should businesses develop a sustainability strategy?
Well, I hope it's widely known that we are using way more resources on this planet than we have available to us that can be sustained over time. And there's more people on the planet now than ever before, and that will only grow. And we are putting so much pressure on our natural environment, land, water, our air, and adding greenhouse gases to the atmosphere, which is changing climate. For all these reasons and for others, cost savings and so forth, a smart business will take these challenges seriously. They will look at how they use resources and do so most efficiently. You can not only save money, but you can also ensure that your product, your business, is sustainable, long-lasting over time. So there are a lot of reasons to take a look at sustainability and growing data as well, showing why this is important.
Okay, and what's the first step in developing that strategy?
So really, the term sustainability is so broad. I always like to say you need to define it for yourself. Every organization that uses the term ought to define it for what it stands for their organization. And to do that, you need to ask your employees. You need to ask your stakeholders, what's the space that you're in? What industry are you in? What's appropriate? Define sustainability for yourself. And then you need to take a look at what are your impacts? What are your most important impacts? And it's kind of taking a run through of all of your activities, determining what's the most positive impacts you have and the most negative impacts you have, and kind of prioritize that list, and then start developing an action plan. And all of this really needs to align around your organization's mission and values. This is not something you do on the sidelines, it's integrated into the company itself.
Okay, and what are some tools and resources that you know of that an organization can use in looking for advice to develop a strategy?
We're so fortunate now. There are so many different tools available. There's training, there's education, there's degree programs. There's formal standards like through ISO. There's reporting standards now through the Global Reporting Initiative. There are so many different tools out there. Really the hard part will be kind of weeding through what's appropriate for your organization. And I find that, for any organization, just doing a simple kind of research project to figure out what's that tool that's going to be most important to them to use. And also there's consultants that can help as well, which is something
like
I
yourself?
provide as well, yeah.
Should a business look at all areas of sustainability, or do you think they should just have a focus on one part, environmental, social, economic?
Yeah, really, to take a holistic approach, you really need to look at the social piece, the people, the community piece, the economic piece, and also the environmental piece. Now, that doesn't mean that your focus actions will be in all areas all at once. I think we all call sustainability a journey. We want to improve over time. So you might take a look at your impacts and find that, our most important impact has to do with how we dispose of waste. And we need to really look at how we can manage that, reduce waste, recycle. So perhaps you're going to focus on actions within a year to focus on the environmental piece. For another organization, it might be totally different. It might be, I want to focus on the community, on our stakeholders, engaging with those stakeholders. That's more the social side. But really, all three principles, all three pillars are intertwined. You cannot separate them. So you really have to take a holistic look.
Okay. How do you go about convincing employees or the community that sustainability is important?
So I believe, and many do, that there are different motivations for embracing sustainability. Some people, some organizations find that it's the cost savings that is really driving their focus on sustainability. How can they reduce their costs in electricity, for example, or in waste disposal fees? How can they start saving money by not using so much water? So sometimes that's a driver, and so you can speak to that driver. Over time, that organization will then be convinced if they're saving money, this is a good thing. Employees are feeling better about working there. Stakeholders are feeling better because you're not wasting. And it's just a steamroll effect, and it's a journey that you go through. So there's really, you have to determine what's going to speak to someone. what's really going to resonate for them, and then talk that language.
Okay. In your opinion, what are some of the most sustainable brands or companies right now?
So the great news is there are so many examples. This did not used to be the case, and over the last decade, it's been really exciting to see the growth in this field. I wouldn't point to any one, I'd point to several, and just to name a few, and there are many more, I'm not saying that these are the only ones. Interface, the flooring company, was one of the first to really look at this holistically, look at sustainability across their company and their product line. Companies like Method, the environmentally friendly cleaning products, who from the beginning wanted to make sure that they used the right cleaning solutions that were not detriment to the environment or health, that did just as good a job as other products. They started looking at packaging, all from the very start. Employee engagement, innovation. I've been to their company headquarters, and it's just exciting to walk in the door. So they're really looking at embracing the whole thing. I was just reading about how Levi's is saving millions of gallons of water and money, taking a look at their product, how they make that product, and then educating the consumer about not using so much water in cleaning their products, their jeans. Caesars Entertainment and MGM Resorts, they are looking across their whole portfolio of resorts and looking at energy and water and waste, and really now drilling down to employee engagement. And there's now growing data that an engaged employee group around sustainability is actually, they're going to stay longer, they're not going to leave, which actually saves the company money, so your retention rate's higher. They're actually happier at work, they're taking actions around sustainability, you can measure these through certain tools, and they're doing that. Then that impacts the customers that go to these resorts, and it impacts their brand, so they're looking at it the whole stakeholders and social level. There are just so many examples to talk about. Patagonia, they're now saying, if you don't need another product, don't buy it. I mean, what company that's really innovative? And then just one more, Puma. They were the first company in the world to look at an environmental profit and loss statement, not just looking at financials, environmental. What does our profit and loss statement look like? First of all, how do you do that? And they worked to do that. And now they're looking at the social piece, and then they want to combine it all. So it's just a new way of doing business. So it's just really exciting, and there's a lot of case studies.
Definitely. What are a few easy things that a business can do to start being more sustainable?
I think first of all, taking a look at your impacts and activities. If you are an organization that does use resources, whether it be energy, water, transporting yourself to work and back, just taking a look at what are your actions and how might they negatively impact the environment or people or health. And then kind of making an action list. What can we do this year, this month, to try and make improvements? What can we offer our employees that will incentivize them to change their behavior slightly? Because a more engaged workforce is shown to be a happier workforce and stay longer in their jobs. So I think starting off with a simple look at what are your activities, and really look at it from the holistic point of view, environmental, economic, and social, not just the environmental piece. And then just start making an action plan and making improvements day by day. And that'll kick you off on your journey, and hopefully soon you'll develop a full-blown sustainability strategy that's aligned with your corporate vision and values.
Well, great. Thank you so much for being here with me today, Jill. And for all of you out there, if you would like more tips on sustainability or developing your strategy, please visit my blog at www.lisa-mcdonald.com. Thanks for watching.